Hey guys, I'm going to be showing you today how to join colors in mid-project, or how to add new yarn in your Tunisian crochet projects. And I'm working with Tunisian crochet or Afghan stitch, also known as simple stitch. And I will be adding new yarn somewhere in the middle of my project, and I'm just going to show you guys how I do that. I will be starting with the black here. And the project I'm working on is going to be a panel with this mushroom on it. The mushroom itself is 16 pixels by 16 pixels. That means it's going to be 16 stitches. As far as my project here goes, for me, I decided that one stitch will equal 1 pixel, if that makes sense. That way it's easier to follow. And I decided I will have 2 stitches on the left of the background color, my rainbow color, and 3 stitches on the right. So let's get to it. Now I will be having another video further on about how to use charts when doing Tunisian crochet, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to give you guys a basic so you may be understanding of what I'm doing. If you do look at this chart, again, it's 16, that the mushroom itself is 16 pixels or 16 stitches by 16 stitches on the widest part and the tallest part. So it is this square kind of. The mushroom does fit in the square. And when I start off the first row, which will be the beginning row here, the last row at the bottom, I'll be working my way from the bottom up. Since I did decide to have 3 of my background color stitches on this side, I will have to be doing 3 of those plus this 3, because that is when the black color starts here. So hopefully you guys understand, and if not, I will be making another video further along. But for the sake of the tutorial, you can just follow as I join in the new colors. And I will be doing the first row. I probably will take a break then and come back for the second row, so I can also add the white color in it as well. Alright, as you can see again from the graph, I do want 3 separate stitches of my background color before I start the chart. That means I have 3 on this side and this 3 right here, as you can see in the chart. So I have 6 total. As you guys, if you have seen my last video, you know that this live hook does equal 1 stitch, so I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there you go, I have 6 stitches. And now it's my turn to join in the black color here. And I would join in on the first pass while you're going from the right to the left. Otherwise it will not look correctly. I'm going to use black, of course, since it is the outline of the mushroom. Now the way I would join any color or any yarn in general is this. As you guys know, I already have my 6 stitches that I decided to have of my background color, and this next stitch would have to be a black stitch, since that is the new color I'm starting. I will put my crochet hook through the loop, through the stitch, as if I were about to pull up a loop, but instead of pulling up regularly with the background color, I will take my new color, make a slip knot. Again, if you guys do not know how to make a slip knot, browse on YouTube. There are many how-to videos. I will place a slip knot on my hook, make sure it's tight, and I will pull that through the loop. And now I do have a black, my first black stitch here. Now to secure the background color, if you do not secure it, once you complete the row, you will have a gaping hole here, which is not what you want. So in order to secure this yarn, you would put it over the black one, since that is the one you will be using for now, over your second color, and then just pull up the black and continue working with that. Now let's go ahead and work with that. You guys already know how to make the regular stitches, so I'm not going to go step by step with you on that. But actually, let me count how many there are here. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 black stitches. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And let's count how many I have until the end. I have 3, 4, 5 stitches left. You can definitely go back to your chart if you're working with one and count to see if that is correct. We do have 3 stitches left here in the chart, and as I mentioned, I do want two stitches as the border here of my background color, so that will equal 5 stitches of my background color, and that is what we have here, so that sounds about right. Now, on the other side, I will be starting a new yarn of the background color because, as you guys can see, the mushroom is pretty huge, and it's trying to run out, the background color from one side to the next. There are way too many stitches in between to make it easy. I would do maybe like up to three or four stitches. I would run through the back, but if there's more than that, I usually just start a new yarn, and that is what I will be doing here. So let me just pull some up of that. Let me just cut a piece here, and we will be adding a new yarn here as well. So again, how I would add a new yarn is I would go into the stitch that the new color is supposed to begin, which would be this orange one. I would take my new yarn, I would make a slip knot and put that on my hook and pull that through as my first stitch of the new color. And to secure the black color, or the other color I was working with, I would put on top of my working yarn and just continue the rest with the new yarn. And here we have the new completed row. And from the back, if you guys want to take a look, what happens when you put for example, the black yarn, you put it on top of the new color, it does lock it in, as you can see on this side here. It's locking in behind that knot we have. That way when we finish up the row, there's no space or no hole left there. Now let me show you guys how to finish that off. It's also very similar to how you cast it on with the new color, or how you added on the new color. Again, you guys know that the first stitch on the left is always alone, so you pull your loop through the first by itself, and the rest of the row you pull through 2. Now, how do you know when to pull through with your new color? You know when to pull through with a new color because if you see that the next 2 loops on your hook, one is your background color, for example here, mine is orange, one is your background color, and the second loop is the new color. That is when you know that you have to pull through with the new color because you have 1 loop of that color. I don't know if that makes sense. And to do so, again, to lock it, we just do the opposite way. You put your old yarn that you don't need anymore, or that you already work with, on the right, and you want the black yarn, in this example, to go over, and just continue working through. Again, pull through 2, and so forth. And if the stitches are getting loose, you can always pull the yarn from the back here to kind of tighten them up. Alright, it's time to change again. And how do we know? Because we have the 2 following loops. We have 1 loop that is the background color. That means we have to pass through with the background color of the second loop. And again, to lock the yarn in, you would twist to the right, put this on top of the yarn you are going to use. So you would put the black yarn on the right and make sure the new yarn or the background yarn, whatever color you're using, comes from underneath, and you will pull through two. And from the back, this will lock it in. As you guys saw from the first row, or from the first pass, it locks in the yarn here, so there are no holes. Now let's do one more row. If you guys can see, the second row here will be this one. I will be needing the black, which is the outline color, and the inside of the mushroom here is white, so I will be using white as well. Black again, and then the background color. And as we counted before, I do have 3 on this side of my border, plus these 2, so I need 5, and then 2 black, and so on. So let me begin with that. And again, this does count as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now this is supposed to be a black stitch, and because I already have a black yarn connected here, all I'm going to do is again put the old color over the top and pull the black up and just pull through with that. I did have 2 black stitches here via the chart. As you guys can see here, 2 black stitches, and then how many white ones? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white, 2 black, and the remaining background colors. So let me go get a white. Alright, now I'm ready to start with a white. Again, via the chart here, we have 2 black stitches, 8 whites, and 2 black again, and then the background color. We already did the 2 black stitches, now we need the 8 white. And again, how I would add a color is I would go through the loop of the stitch that's supposed to be white, the first stitch of the new color. I put my hook through that. Then I get my new yarn. I make a slip stitch, and I put that on my loop. I'm sorry, on my hook. And that is what I pull up is a loop for my first stitch of the new color. Then I want to lock the old color, the last color I was working with, I put it on top of the old and continue working with the new. And I said we needed 8 white, so let's go ahead and do the 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we do have the 8 white stitches. We need 2 black following the graph or the chart. And as I mentioned to you guys, because this is so many stitches here in between from the black yarn I'm already using, I probably will not just pass it on like this, even though you totally could. And from this project that I'm working on, you will not be able to see the back. So if you want to make it as messy as you want, that's fine. Nobody will be seeing that. But for the sake of this and teaching you guys how to join yarn, of course, I'll go ahead and join a new yarn at this end. Again, I'm looking for 2 black stitches. So I will go ahead and put my hook into the first stitch of the new color. I will grab my new color and make a slip knot, put that on my loop, and pull that through as my first pass for this stitch, the first stitch of the new color. And to lock the old color I was working with, I will put it on top and continue working with the new color. And here we have my 2 black that I needed, 2 black stitches. and the rest are my background color. Again, go in the first loop of my new color, and because I already had the background color attached, I would just pull it up from where I had it in my last row below. And again, to lock the old color, I would put it on top of the yarn I'm working on, or I'm working with, and just pull in. And there you go. That is our second row of color changes here. Just work the row back so you guys can have a better look at how it's turning out. And again, once we do the second pass, you guys know the first stitch here is always alone. And for the following, it's just two at a time. And here we know that it's time to pass through with a new color, or the black color in this instance, because we do have the second loop of being black, so we know that we have to pass through with the black yarn. And to do so, I will make sure that I pull it up underneath, or you can call it as twisting. Make sure you have the old color on the right, and the new color should be coming up from beneath on the left, and then you pull through as usual. You pull through two and pull through two, and again, I know it's time to pull through with the white because my second loop from the hook is white. And again, I would twist this, make sure this is on the right, pull from the bottom with the white color, and then pull through two like normal. And again, I know it's time to change or to pull through with the black because my second loop is black. So I will make sure this is on the right to lock it, and I will pull up from the left underneath with the black and pull through two. Oops. And pull through two. And once again, I know it's time to pull through with the background color because the second loop from the crochet hook is the background color. So again, I'll put this on the right to lock it and pull from the bottom to the right with a new background color. And again, pull through two, and there you go. We have one more row completed, and this is how it's looking. It should give you very crisp edges, and again, no holes around.